Hello everybody and welcome to the shop. I was hoping to have a turning video for you today, but unfortunately some of the problems I've been having in the shop kept me from doing any turning. So I don't really have a turning video for you today. I thought I would do just kind of a quick update video on the shop and my plans, future plans for this channel. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet, but I will tell you a little bit about two of the main reasons why I don't have a video today. One of them you can see right here. I've got my table saw disconnected from the stand and flipped up on the end. The handle here that raises and lowers the blade, the shaft has come loose and it's not engaging. I was working on what I'm going to call a maker cart. It's a cart that has 8 shelves, and you pull a shelf out, set it on top of the cart, and it gives you a 2x2 work area. I had cut the 2x4s and built the frame with the casters, and I was preparing to cut the boards for the sides. I had dropped the blade, cleaned up the top of the saw, went to raise the blade back up, and nothing, wouldn't go up. Flipped it up yesterday, got to looking at it, wasn't able to figure it out just by looking. I went to the website and got an explosion diagram, and I think now I understand what I need to do, but it is going to be a little bit of a job because I got to get the motor out of there, and there's quite a few other parts that have got to come off before I can fix it. So this is going to have to be a priority because a shop without a table saw is not a very well functioning shop sometimes. The second problem I'm having this week, and you might remember if you watched the video on the polyester resin and brass shavings, where I attempted to turn between centers, and I found out that the headstock and the tailstock of my lathe don't match up perfectly. I'd like to start by saying thank you to everyone who offered suggestions for things I might try in order to correct that. I'm just not having a lot of luck. You know, the lathe is a Harbor Freight lathe. It has been a good lathe. I only paid $169 for it. It's been a good lathe. I've turned many, many pins on it. But I think a couple of things. It always had a wobble in the tailstock, a little bit of movement. That and the wear and tear of the use that I've put on it, I just am not able to get those two to line up. I can line them up, but then they move. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. I don't like the thought of having to replace the lathe. I plan to keep hammering away at it, but I got to get this fixed first. Now how about some good news? Today I stopped in at Harbor Freight and I picked up a 2.5 gallon pressure pot. I also went to Menards and I picked up a bunch of brass fittings so that the top of this can be piped properly for casting. A good buddy of mine, Michael DeLauter, is going to, I'm not sure if I'm going to go to his shop or he's going to come to my shop, but we're going to get together and he's going to work with me to pipe the top of this thing properly. I will video that. Every single part will be categorized so that you guys will know. I'll give you the prices I paid for them so that if you decide to get into casting, you'll know the pot's going to cost me this much, the fittings are going to cost me that much, and you'll know how to install them. So that's good news. We're making some serious headway on casting. I'd also like to take a few minutes and say thank you to everyone who commented on my video with suggestions for the direction of my channel. Now, when I did my pin turner gathering update video, I made a comment that in the very near future I'm going to be getting into casting as well as kitless pins, and I thought initially maybe I'll just start an individual channel and keep that information together. I've decided with your input that I'm going to leave everything on this channel. What I will do is I'll create a playlist for casting and a playlist for kitless pins, and the reason I decided to do this is yes, I will be turning kitless pins, but I don't think I'll be turning them as often as I'm turning kitted pins. I'll be casting, but I don't know that I'll be casting all the time, you know, like someone like Zach Higgins might be. So I don't know that I'll be able to drive enough traffic to a channel to really make it worth the headache of maintaining that channel. So I think we're just going to create a couple of playlists and keep all of that stuff together right here on RJBWoodTurner. And the last thing I want to cover in this video before I let you guys go is I also talked a little bit about, I was worried that you guys might find it boring that I have been turning so many pins. I haven't really had time to get out and be creative and develop any new blanks, but I've had a lot of you who have been so generous and so kind to send me a bunch of beautiful blanks, and I've been turning those on Tuesday and Friday. And I was concerned that you guys might be getting bored. The overwhelming response is, no, Bob, we're not getting bored, but there is quite a bit of repetition. So here is the game plan on that. And once again, this came directly from your suggestions, so thank you for your feedback. It's always appreciated. I'm going to do a video. I'm going to take some time and I'm going to do a single video that this is how I measure a blank, this is how I cut it, this is how I drill it, tube it, and trim it on the sander to prep that blank for turning. And I'm going to be very careful with that video and very detailed so that it is the complete preparation video. Then when I get a blank from someone and I want to turn that blank, I'll come out and I'll do the initial, hey, this is such and such of a blank sent to me by this particular person. I'll be using this kit. I'm also going to give a little more info on the kit. For example, I was asked to tell where I purchased it at, so I'll give that info. And then we'll go straight to turning. I'll make a mention that if you're interested in learning how I prepared this blank to turn, you can go to this video and there'll be a link in the comments. So I can cut all of that excess out of the video. That's 3, 4, 5 minutes I can take out of the video and shorten it. I do want you to know if there is a problem with any of those processes, I guarantee you I will show that problem and I will show what I did to fix it. If I don't show anything, it was a nice smooth process. Oh, I will also make sure that video contains acrylic or an acrylic style blank as well as a wood blank, because there are some subtle differences that I do whenever I do acrylic versus wood. I'll show the entire turning process. I'm going to continue to show it at 4 speed unless there is a problem. Then I will slow it down and talk you through the fix. I think the CA finish, I've already been doing pretty good about one coat and then shutting the camera off. The buffing or the polishing with the micro mesh and the buffing, I'm going to leave that in there for now. I may do a more in-depth finishing video where I show acrylic and wood and how I finish it and point to that in the future, but for now I'm going to leave that in there, and the assembly section of the videos I'm going to leave in there. So I'm hoping to take my videos down to less than 10 minutes, maybe 8, 9 minutes, and because there's no sense in showing the same thing over and over, especially when nothing is happening. Well, this video, I wanted to keep it short. I may have talked a little more or a little longer than I expected to, but I appreciate you sticking with me. I appreciate your understanding about no video this week on turning. As soon as I can get this taken care of, and we can still turn. I'll still turn blanks the old way on that lathe until I decide what to do over there, but I do want to move towards turn between centers. It's just a matter of figuring out what I'm going to do. The other thing is, with that particular lathe, the way it is right now, I can't do the kitless pins. It's got to be dead on accurate. So unless I can get it fixed, and we're going to keep working on it, I may have to look into replacing it. If I do, I think I'll take that lathe and put it behind my lathe table, put the buffing wheels on it, and make it a full-time buffing station. That's all I've got for now. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate you joining me in the shop. I want you to know that you are always welcome in my shop. Come back and see me again real soon. Take care, everybody, and have a great evening.